I think it's crazy when men say that you're intimidating. Like, babe, if I'm intimidating, what does that say about you? Like, what you got going on for yourself here? Come on.
We have got to stop trash talking these men, especially in front of our boys. Because what do we think these boys are gonna grow up to be one day? These boys are gonna grow up to be men one day, and they're gonna remember what their mom said about men, and they're gonna go ahead and associate that with themselves now. We have got to start speaking life onto our boys. Because I know one thing for sure is what you say to a child will stick.
Men really don't understand the way that women think. Basically, for my job, I have to clean the men's restroom, and I was talking to my male coworker about how my biggest fear is knocking on the door and saying, "Cleaning, is anyone in here?" and some freak weirdo man hearing that it's like a woman's voice and staying silent and waiting for me to go in and then attack me or some shit. Like, I know that's probably not gonna happen, but you know, it's the thought is always there. My coworker's all like, "Why would you think that? Like, that's never gonna happen. Why would you even think that?" Why do you think I think that? Like, we've just been raised to be super aware of our surroundings and just, you know, making sure that we're safe. And men just don't have to think about that. Like, they don't have that added stress to their lives.
Who is watching me get air in my tire as a woman, letting me do this by myself. It's crazy.
Have men decided that they're not going to hold the door open for women anymore? Because I can't tell you how many times I have gone into a store, the man was going in front of me, he saw me coming behind him, and he opened up the door but didn't open it up for me and the door hit me. Or he was coming out of the door and didn't hold it open for me to go through it and the door hit me. And this has happened multiple times. So I just want to know, have men decided that they are just not going to hold the door open for women anymore?
Nobody else comes to my house and me. I never get handouts.
Where's your husband?
Not around.
What do you need done over there?
Mowing, and I got a bunch of sticks to be picked up and took in.
You need the trash picked up too?
Yeah.
They just expect you to just do it. They're not even gonna so much as give you a sandwich and a drink for it. They're just gonna do it. I remember when I was a kid and there was a crew of men working at somebody else's house, and she would feed those dudes lunch every day. She would bring them, like, they sitting in the shade. When they were taking their break, they'd be sitting outside in the shade, and she'd bring them like sandwiches and chips and water and whatever drink they wanted. And them boys would be pigging out. Nowadays, these modern women expect you to do everything just out of the kindness and the goodness of your heart. And they're not even gonna say thank you. As a matter of fact, they gonna film you, get online, post a TikTok talking about, and this is how you get men to do what you want without giving anything up.
You pay your own bills, Bird. You single, okay? You single. What you think? Single. Big single. Like, you ever been with don't pay no bills, don't nothing? Like, you can't get mad that I'm texting the next. You can't, because I need my bread, and I need it now.
Man.
Are you gonna pay for this?
Nah, you got it, bro.
Okay. Men aren't men these days anymore. I gotta pay for everything, I guess. Maybe if I had a real gentleman, you know, he would have just paid for it, but whatever. Thank you.
Bro, so
It's just embarrassing.
why you don't got your card?
Because I left it in the car. Why you can't be my man and make sure I got all my stuff? You just made me embarrass myself.
Now,
You just made me embarrass myself in Walmart.
I didn't make you do nothing.
Yes, you did.
You don't got your card. That's on you.
Okay, so why you couldn't pay for it?
I don't gotta pay for your shit. I'm broke.
You broke.
All right, if I'm broke, then stop talking to me then.
Stop talking.
Say, as a man, you shouldn't be paying no girls' bills if y'all not married. I don't believe in that.
The opposite is the same.
Because I know, I already feel it. I feel it brewing in the comments. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, as a man, you should not be paying no girls' bills.
Can you imagine being so fucking broke that you force yourself to talk to somebody that you are not attracted to? Shaquille, they're just joking. They're not joking. It's just TikTok. Relax. Everybody laugh. They're not joking. They're not joking. They dead. We've seen it. We've seen it before. You don't want to work so much that you are willing to date somebody you're not attracted to? You're that much of a bum. You're that much of a bum. Nothing makes my wee-wee more soft more than a broke bum. Like, what are you doing? Oh my, I don't know. And then when he making all the money, he tell you to shut the now you feel like he's being financially abusive. No, you're broke. You're broke. Shut up. There's no way in hell I'm about to be paying everything and you about to be talking to me crazy and you ain't feel like cooking today and you don't feel like doing certain. No, not doing it.
These modern women have made up in their mind work is not for them. They want to be a boss babe for about 1 to 2 years. And after that little emotional high has gone out the window, all of a sudden it's time for me to tap out. I'm going to go ahead and mail it in. Expect my 2-week resignation in the email by 5 o'clock today.
If you're a man and you watch me struggle with carrying on in the overhead department and you don't offer to help, jail. What is wrong with you?
Like, I swear to God, like, this why I like going out with your ass because you doing that weird. You're bringing somebody with you on. So, I don't trust you. I'm just been talking for 4 years and your ass still weird. That's why I'm never gonna worry about my mother. I swear to God, I don't got time for you. I pay for your food, I'm not gonna pay for it. You gonna pay for her food, you gonna pay for what I order. I'm not gonna pay for her food. You gonna pay for what I order.
This is embarrassing, honey. We didn't already ate and everything. Like, I can pay for my but this is ridiculous. Like, you don't invite somebody and I pay for their tab.
Like, the audacity of you.
This is why you don't date because this is real mid.
I'm ready to go. That's why I don't like being around y'all. You always got so much going on.
I told you, put ball headed. I told you.
Is she disturbing your peace, King?
Okay, I have a question, and maybe this is a stupid question, but that hasn't stopped me in the past from asking my questions. My question here. You know, my brother was telling me about how in the gym, guys don't really approach girls, which, good. Don't approach me. Don't talk to me. Thank you. But so then, I was like, if we're supposed to approach guys, how do you know when a guy wants to be approached by a girl? You know? Like, because girls, we'll give like the little ojitos, we'll give little signs. Like, you know, it'll be like we'll keep looking back. They're like, ah. But how do you know? Like, if you're a guy and you saw a pretty girl and you wanted her to talk to you because you don't want to talk to her, what do you do? Please let me know.
You know, I suggest that you guys figure that out. If y'all have all the answers to the world and the universe, y'all figure out how y'all need to approach men or how a man needs to approach you. And since y'all are so smart, y'all let us know.
People love to tell you to be realistic, but that's just the bar that they set for themselves.
You don't know what you don't know. So stop calling people delusional, because their vision is bigger than your comprehension. Your version of realistic is not their reality.
Yeah, again, another coping mechanism. This is impressive.
I have some bad news about the FOBC videos. Okay, those videos for some reason only reached men. And they were meant for the girls. Okay, they were meant for the girls to just give them a little push in this whole dating thing of, you know, you don't have to be stuck on these dating apps. You know, if the dating apps work for you, that's great. But if they don't, you could, you know, just spark a conversation. They were really meant for the girlies. And I am sad to report, it literally reached, I think the percentage, like the analytics were like 96% of men. So that defeated the purpose.
Well, it reaches men because you're trying to trash men, and so men naturally defend themselves. Accountability is probably necessary here.
I'm sick of being asked by boys at bars what I'm doing there. Let me explain. I was at the bars last night, and I am single, and I'm also 35. And you know what? Do I want to be at the bars every weekend? No. But like, do I still enjoy going out and like going to the bars with my friends? Sometimes, yeah. Anyway, I met a boy, and oftentimes they're younger than me. And I thought this guy was in his late 20s, but he was 23. Anyway, I told him my age, and we were just chatting. And he goes, what are you... First of all, they're always like, you look great. And I'm like, thank you. I'm not 65. I'm 35. Also, like, they're always like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, can we normalize? Like, they think they think you just hit 30 and die and croak and don't want to like go out and be social. I'm like, aren't I allowed to have fun with my friends?
Well, they're asking you for good reason, and you're not taking the hint. You're out there trying to stay young, and you're 35. You should probably be somebody's wife right now. But y'all think y'all are 35 going on 25. Grow up.
I once asked my grandpa, why should I not go back to my ex? He replied, if you see the same tree in the forest twice, it's because you're lost. Ready? Let's go. I like the garbage metaphor more. Once you've thrown something in the garbage, you don't get it back from the garbage can. I use the same principle for former jobs too. Okay, next one is interesting. Not every return means you're lost. Sometimes we revisit a tree because we've grown enough to see it differently. Life isn't always a straight path, and neither is love. What matters is not that it's your ex, but whether both of you have evolved. A second chance isn't always a mistake. It can be a wiser beginning. Remember, in a broken relationship, there are two exes, yourself included. Honestly, in theory, this makes sense, but personally, I've never seen a couple with a happy end after a huge breakup. Anyways, next. Old love is like leftovers. You can still eat it when reheated, but the taste is never the same. I went back to my ex-husband once. I hoped things would be different, but it turned out to be my delusion. I should have left when he first did me wrong. And the last one. I never understood why people stay friends with exes. There are 8 billion people on this planet. I'll make new friends. We break up, you're dead to me.
Somebody in the comments actually resonated with the metaphor of coming back to the tree a second time and saying, well, if that tree has grown, you might go back and revisit that growth. Two people have grown, and now they come back to each other and they say, we can do this for real. That's all men are asking you guys for, is to grow just like you're wanting them to grow. So maybe y'all's relationship can progress forward.
Y'all, I just embarrassed myself so bad in the Trader Joe's. Okay, so I went in and I went for these new deli sandwich chips because my mom really likes them. And so she said, like, get me extra, I'll pay you back. So I get like 5 bags. So my cart is stacked high with the deli sandwich chips. I'm just like walking around the store because I like the environment of Trader Joe's. I really do. I looked over and I saw a sample table, and me, I love a good sample. But what I liked even more was the man behind the sample table. Y'all, he was so fine. And this is the Forest Hill Trader Joe's. I'm putting you on. I walked over there and he was standing in front of like a bunch of those Taki type chips, but he had wine on the table. And I walked over and I was like, oh, is this wine? And he was like, yeah, do you want to try some? And I was like, no, I came over for the chips. He said it just like that. And he was like, oh yeah, those aren't on sample today. And then he started talking to me more about the wine, and I literally turn around and just walk away. I was like, no, thank you. I just wanted the chips. Guys, I don't know why I did that. I don't know what possessed me to do that. And he is continuing to talk about the wine, and I'm just walking away. And I literally felt so bad. I hope you guys learn from my experience. And that's not even the worst. Like, I've embarrassed myself so much worse in the past. But anyway, just another day in my life.
Now, I was just at Trader Joe's and I didn't see those. I'm going back tomorrow.
I cannot be 30 years old and not know how to talk to a grown-ass man. I was at Coffee Bean, and I'm a hermit. I don't go out. I don't do anything. I stay home. I'm just a pretty cute little thing, and I stay at home and mind my motherfucking business. I went to Coffee Bean today to meet my upline, and he wasn't there yet. So then I went to go stand in line to go get my own damn fucking coffee, and there's these two repairmen repairing some shit that I don't even know what the fuck it is. It doesn't matter. I'm in line. You, as a man, you're on your back laying on the floor, and you're looking at me like this, and then you go and you compliment my beautiful little earrings. Look how cute they are. Oh my gosh, she's precious. Okay, so then he starts complimenting me on my earrings. You know, you have the best earrings in this place, blah, 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 blah. And I'm standing there like, oh, thank you. Blah, 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 blah. You know how I end the conversation knowing full well that I'm about to walk 12 feet over and sit at the round table for the next 6 hours with my laptop? This is how I ended the conversation. Well, see you later.
Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
Bitch, I'm 30 years old. I'm over here quoting Dumb and Dumber.
Ma'am, that's a regular thing to say, and I guarantee the guy wasn't weirded out by it. Y'all overthink things.
Why is it every time a woman has standards, men have to come in and shit on it and say our standards must be too high? Maybe you just don't fit the standards. That doesn't necessarily mean my standards are too high. It just means you don't fit them. So that's not my problem. I made a post about not like people liking me that I don't like and vice versa. And there were so many men that commented on there about how like I'm basically asking for too much, or I must be really dating out of my league and looking for a man that makes 6 figures while I'm a single mom of 2 and all this stuff. First of all, people are mean as fuck, which I'm never that mean to people. So I just don't see how other people can be that mean, but that's fine. To each his own. Karma's a bitch. But when I talk about things in like relationships, I'm not talking about money. So just to throw that out there. But anyway, I just thought it was funny how like every single comment that a man commented had something to do with the fact of I'm asking for too much, or I must be dating out of my league, or maybe I'm not finding people because I'm not giving the right people a chance because they don't make enough money, or they're not tall enough, or they don't have a good job. Well, I worked really hard to get where I am, so I don't want somebody that's, you know, that doesn't have a job, that's living at home in their mom's basement either. So no, that's not what I'm looking for. But that doesn't really mean that I'm dating out of my league or that I'm asking for too much. So that's all. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
You said all that just to come back in a roundabout way and say, yeah, I'm looking for a man that has a little bit of money, and he's going to have to be on my level because I worked really hard to get where I am, and he's going to have to be there too. So in the end, they were right.
Something that we don't talk about enough as a society is how hard it is for women who grew up surrounded by masculine, yet very loving men to find men attractive. Because let me just give you some context. My dad is incredibly masculine. He built our entire house with his dad. He always built all of our cars. He literally could fix anything. Like, there was literally never a problem in my life that my dad could not fix. Like, keys locked out of your car, easy, he'll come break them out. Like, your car breaks down halfway across the country, easy, he will fly there and fix it for you. Keep in mind, my grandpa, my mom's dad, is pretty much the same. Like, he's like, could fix anything. Like, anything went wrong, it's okay, baby, I'll come fix it for you. Better yet, I'll teach you how to do it so that you're capable. Like, I can change my own oil, I could probably build basic things because I have these very masculine men in my lives who taught me, you can do whatever you want, baby, like, you got this. And then my great grandpa, who I had in my life until a few years ago, he was a World War II fighter pilot. Like, that man That man went through crazy stuff, and yet he was the most gentle, kind, loving man. Like, he was not afraid to be, like, a loving, kind, and my father, and my grandpa, and my dad's dad, like, all of them, my papa, like, all of them, loving, kind men while also being so capable. And it's really hard to find a man like that. Like, I literally have yet to find a man that can do all those things, which I feel like I've been conditioned in a good way to expect out of a man. Like, I do expect that, because I'm not gonna find you attractive if I can do it, but you can't, you know? Which I might be a character flaw in mine, because, like, yes, they can learn, but if I see the desire there to learn, that's what matters. Like, the desire to learn how to do those things. That's what matters, you know? Because I have these men around that can teach you. But I feel like we don't talk about that enough. Like, like, I don't know, my bloodline, there's just, like, a lot of really capable but yet loving men, and, like,
I just wonder, how come you guys don't talk about being surrounded by and growing up around femininity, and why y'all don't be acting feminine? That's what I be wondering.
We're losing our men. Yeah, we're losing our men. I said it. And we're not losing our men because there's a shortage of men and them in jail, or them gay, or them married. No, we're losing our men because we're not treating them correctly. So therefore they're going to all other races. Yes, and those races know how to speak to our men. Those races know how to respect our men. So let me just tell you something. For all of you who go and come to me now and come for me and say, me don't want them, you're this and you're that, I do not care. It matters not to me what you feel, because you're probably one of them who don't have a man either. So let me just tell you something. If we want to keep our men in our fold, in our community, you know, and build our blackness and our race, remember me told you something. Respect them. Stop emasculating them. Stop castrating them. Stop reminding them of what them do and what them do, because you are the things too. You understand? Remember me told you right now, say, we are losing our men. We are to all other races. And for my Jamaican people who are in Jamaica with our 98% black population, me not talk to Uno, because Uno sometimes go on like say Uno not travel, or the few that can, or the many that can, or whatever. Look at what is going on outside of Jamaica and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. We are losing men. I'm going to tell you something too. As soon as your man travel, what you think will happen? As soon as your son travels, what you think will happen? And just your friend travel, what you think will happen? Once they get used to another race and how they are treated and respected, what you think will happen? We need to do better as females, as women. And those women who are in marriages and you think it's solid, think again. If you don't know, respect on a man. So remember me told you right here, so today, respect your man if you want.
They're not going to listen to you. And it's funny because it's not going to even hit their FYP. And even if it did, like I said, they're not interested in hearing that.
Is it me? Or do some of y'all niggas really be that lame? Let me explain. So I'm at the bar and shit, and I'm by myself because, of course, I'm an adult. I'm by myself. I'm eating my food. I order a drink. This guy comes over and he's talking to me. You would have thought this man knew me from somewhere. Don't know me from nowhere, but he's chatting. Okay, so eventually he buys me a drink. Cool, as you should, because you're in my face. Buy me a drink. Mind you, he sat with me the entire time I ate my food. At this point, you're blocking. Move. The bar's packed. Anybody could be sitting right here. You sitting right here, okay, right? So you must be about to offer something besides a drink. My bill come out. The dude, he like, y'all good? You know, that's waiter and waitress talk for like, are y'all ready to wrap it up, close out, or what? He like, yeah, we good. Steps off, goes to go buy another drink for us. Okay, cool. The waiter dude come back, he like, we trying to close out. I'm like, no, to keep it real, I'm trying to see if he gonna pay for my food. I'm trying to see if he gonna pay for my food because you just sat with me the entire time I ate. Blocking. Move around if you're not paying for my food. I don't give a fuck about no drink. I didn't come in here for a drink. I really came for food. And I kind of told you that while we were conversating. This is when I knew he was lame, because dude came out 3 times. It's time to pay the bill, come on. So now at this point, I'm about to ask. So I'm asking, I'm like, you know, so you gonna be a gentleman and pay for my food? You know, look at my face, okay? He like, you shouldn't have to ask me. I'm like, duh, I shouldn't. He like, yeah, because you asked me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. I didn't invite you here. Bitch, I didn't invite you here. You invited your motherfucking self. You sat in front of me the entire 45 minutes I've been sitting here. You blocking like shit. The next nigga that came sat with me and bought my food. My food was $66. You didn't buy no food. You came to the bar. Get your lame ass the fuck away from me. Then he tried to explain himself. And because I'm not a rude person, of course I sat right there and was just listening to him. I said, look, honey, look, sweetheart. Understand where you coming from. You want to feel like a woman shouldn't have to ask you. I said, that's because you're used to begging bitches. I said, I already told you I'm a business owner. I'm not no begging ass bitch. I came to this bar with money. I'm gonna leave with money. I don't need you to do nothing for me. I said, but the fact that you sat right here the entire 45 minutes with me means you probably should have offered and been a gentleman to pay for my food. He like, well, I bought you drinks. I said, you ain't hear Beyonce? Sending me a drink ain't appeasing, believe me. I don't care about a drink, bro. I didn't come here to really drink. I came here to eat my food. And because I wanted a drink, I got a drink. All I'm saying is, you ain't lame and really don't even know it. You not lame to them begging bitches, but to a bitch with her own fucking money, you lame as fuck. You're a loser. Get on my face. Then he was like, well, I invited you to a hookah bar after this, and I would have paid for the hookah. I said, exactly. You would have paid for the hookah. And what else? The drinks. He said, yeah, because I invited you. I said, yeah, no thanks. Turned around and looked at the waiter. I said, yeah, just bring me my bill. He bought the bill. It was $66. I said, oh, $66. Make sure I said it loud so he could hear me. Yeah, $66. You didn't have $66? Fuck it. I got $76. Here you go, baby. $10 tip. Go ahead. And I stepped right the fuck off. Good night. Loser. Lame. Loser.
And once again, this goes hand in hand when a woman says, well, it's not that hard to give her flowers. Flowers are what? $5 at Publix? Then the man goes and gets flowers. $5 at Publix. Oh, this ain't enough. You could have at least spent $40. The man comes over. You sat up in my face and you didn't buy me a drink this whole time? Buys a drink. Oh, that's all you do? Is buy a drink for me? You sit up in my face for 45 minutes and you don't buy me anything else but a drink? I didn't want no drink. I had my own money. What does having your own money have to do with him buying you a drink? He bought a drink, came over and tried to conversate with you, and what you had to say at the end of it was like, you need to pay for my food now. Why? You don't like him. Well, I got my own money so I can pay for my stuff. Sure, but you weren't about to. And they call men losers. They call men lame with this type of attitude. This is what they're teaching. This is what our women are learning in the academic system.
Men won't tell you this, but I will. I used to be a madam. My client list was over 10,000 names, and this is the harsh truth I learned from dealing with so many men. All relationships are one decision away from being over. That life that you built with someone, cars, homes, kids, it's one decision away from being over. Many men will lie and cheat, knowing they're risking the relationship, and that won't be enough to stop them. So what do you do about this? You start dating smart. You enter in relationships smart, and you create your own security. You keep in mind that love is a feeling, and feelings can change. And be honest with yourself. Fairy tales don't exist. Women have been conditioned to believe in them, and that is hurting us. But it hurts a lot less when you haven't overgiven and you still have a strong sense of self. Leave me a comment below if you want more advice like this.
Over the course of your career, you had 10,000 dudes that you were messing with. And never once did you say, knowing that some of them are probably married, have girlfriends, engaged, go home. I don't deal with that. Never once. But you took their money, you did whatever they wanted you to do, and you smiled, and you went on back to the house with the money that they paid you. My point is, while you continue to try to shift blame onto men and tell us how terrible men are, maybe you should also look at yourself. But of course, you won't do that. The women in the comments won't do that. They'll just say how terrible men are. Of course, because it's always a man's fault. Like I said, there's an article that just came out by Marie Claire or something like that says that women are have darn near closed the gap on infidelity. But it's always men, huh? It's always men.
The lack of initiative in dating is just, it's nothing new. It's everything. What I can't understand is how so many women talk about all they want is just a man to take a little bit of initiative. That's literally, and yet, I've been talking to this guy on Hinge, and it's been about 2 weeks, and I was out of town, but we've been talking back and forth. Now I'm back in town. Hey, let's go out. So he was telling me about this thing, and I just finally replied, I would love to hear more about that over drinks. Let me know if you're interested. Then he's like, oh, well, how about we exchange numbers or Instagram? And I was like, here's my Instagram, here's my number. He responds with his Instagram and his number. I can't do all the work. If I'm going to do all the work, I'm just going to date myself. I can't do everything, right?
I see what you're saying, but you haven't really done any work. Y'all are talking. If you don't like the man, then just cut it off right there. Y'all talk about taking a little bit of initiative. You remember the clip? Maybe just 2 or 3 clips back now when the woman was talking about she was sitting at a bar or a club or whatever it was The man sent over a drink and he came over there to talk to her. I think that was initiative. Turns out it was a bait and switch. By the end of her time there, 45 minutes, she was asking that man to pay for her dinner. He says, well, I just paid for your drink. That's not enough. You've been in my face for 45 minutes. You need to be a gentleman and pay for my meal. What? He took initiative, and that's what happened to him.
I was walking by a bunch of bars and I heard these guys outside spilling tea to each other. This one guy was so giddy because he's in a new relationship or something. He's like, yeah, she's so cute. She's so pretty. And they're like, oh man, you're in love. You're in love. He's talking about how she has the best smile. And his friends were giggling. They were giggling like little girls. Do guys do this? They were like so happy for him. Like, well, she's not like Amanda at all. Who's Amanda? I want the tea. It's like, yeah, she showed up to my house with wine and a charcuterie board. Bro, actually value this girl for coming over with cheese and crackers?
Absolutely, men can get giddy over the right woman. And for sure, what you ladies don't understand, that a man's friends group are way more supportive than even women. Like, women get jealous, and men, that doesn't happen. Men will get motivated before getting jealous. And lastly, it is not about the cheese and crackers. It is about the effort. And if on top of that, she's attractive and she has a good personality, yeah, that man is going to be giddy.
The women that are never taken for granted, the women that always get princess treatment, fundamentally understand this one law of human nature. Giving more doesn't inspire more. It actually enables less. And let me show you what this looks like. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me and said, Ale, I thought that once we moved in together, he was finally going to propose. I thought that once we got married, he was finally going to be able to set boundaries with his family. I thought that once I had his kids, I was finally going to be able to see his nurturing side and he was going to take initiative. If you aren't getting what you want right now in that relationship, doing more isn't all of a sudden going to change something within him and make him think, wow, I should do the most. This is where men and women fundamentally differ. You could go out on a date with a guy and you might not let him pay for the bill because you think, I don't want him to expect anything from me. But when you do the most for a man, he doesn't think, I need to do more, I should step up. He thinks, if she's doing this for me, I must deserve it. In fact, maybe I'm just that guy. The more you do for yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you care for yourself, the more he wants to do for you. But the more you love him, the more you give to him, the more he thinks of himself. Remember, it is the attitude you have about yourself that another person is going to adopt.
They're never going to take accountability and say, maybe I'm out here on a date with the wrong person. Maybe if he's thinking like that, maybe I've picked the wrong guy. And I need to do better next time at looking for a guy that's willing to reciprocate. No accountability.
I never understood the argument of who's the prize, the man or the woman. I think that's so silly. So silly. Because think of it like this. Remember back in the day when only men were allowed to go off to war and die? Why do you think that was? Because even if only 12 soldiers come back to the United States and only 12 men, as long as we have women, we have power. As long as we have women, we have population. Okay? So that's the thing. And remember on the Titanic, remember that part when the ship was sinking and they were like, women and children first, women and children first. And old dude grabbed a little girl like, oh, there. Oh, there. Acting like that was his daughter. Why? Because he needed to put himself in proximity to value in order to live. Because men know this. They know this. But of course, they're not going to go around shouting it from the rooftops. Hi, sweetie. They're not going to go around shouting it from the rooftops. Why would they? Because they lose their power. They lose their power over our minds. We need to think that we're subordinate. We need to think we're less valuable in order to settle for whatever they give us.
Well, I think what you're saying, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because if you're talking about, well, who's going to war? Who are they shipping off to war? If 12 men come back, we still have women to populate the earth. Right. But if a man moves out of the way and lets you get slaughtered, then what population is going to be going on? Men are fulfilling their duties. Don't you think it's about time that modern women start doing the same thing? Men say, well, we're able to protect, we're able to provide certain things. That's what we're good at. That's what we're going to do. Modern women sit up here and say, well, we're the prize. We shouldn't have to do anything. They don't want to contribute. A woman in the comments said, right, because God created Eve as a gift to Adam when all of his work was done. Very stupid statement. It literally says that she was created to help. She was created to help. What are we talking about here? They just say anything, and it all sounds dumb.
So I got a few questions asking how they can attract someone like me. So thank you. So sweet. And that's easy. I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. And so I love to think of the analogy of the iceberg. So you only see 10% of the iceberg, right? The rest, the 90% is hidden underwater. And so for me, if I see red flag behaviors, which might be something small to somebody, but to me, that's the tip of the iceberg. Like, what's all the other shit that lies beneath? If that's how they're treating me in the first 30 minutes of our date, how is he going to treat me 3 months from now? And I'm talking about red flags like doesn't open the door for me, walks in front of me and doesn't pull out the chair and obviously doesn't pay for the meal and maybe will even talk over me. Those are all red flags. And in the past, I would have tolerated them for sure because I felt really shitty about myself and I didn't know that there were really good men out there that existed. I didn't know, but now I do know because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And so if you hang out with bench warmers, like that's all you're ever going to know. You have to level up. You have to attract the first round draft picks or at least this AA, AAA, right? And so now I don't settle. I do not tolerate that type of behavior. And it's because I know what I want and there's nothing wrong with that. What I also look for is a man who leads with integrity and confidence, and he does not try too hard, and he leads with his worth, his gifts, who he is, not what he is, not his assets, not his resume, not his past accomplishments, none of that bullshit. He leads with who he is, and he is a man who is enough on his own. He doesn't need a woman to be complete. And I'm also looking for a man who doesn't play games. And I know you all think that women play games, but I've had a couple guys who, you know, invited me on a date and then didn't do a very good job of planning it, kind of expected me to bend over backward because they were trying to play it cool. And like, this is backwards. And another guy who thought that it was not good to walk up to a girl in the bar because then it would look to her that he was desperate. And that's games. Like if you like a girl, if you want to talk to her, if she seems interesting to you, walk up to her. You're going to risk rejection, but you miss every shot you don't take. And to me, that's game playing. You're going to attract me if you're into personal growth. That means you're intentional every day about improving your life in all of the areas, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all of the areas. And I'm interested in somebody who can keep up with me energetically, who works out, who takes his health very seriously, who eats well most of the time, who is not excessive with alcohol, who doesn't do drugs, who will listen to audiobooks and podcasts about personal growth and motivation and encourage me with the same, right? This is the type of person that I was not decades ago. And now these are the type of people that I hang out with all the time. And I'll tell you something else. I spend 0 time in front of the TV. I'm not exaggerating. People tell me, oh yeah, I don't watch TV either, but you know, I did see this show, blah, blah, blah. 0 time in front of the TV. So I am busy building my dreams and working out and getting wind in my hair and being curious and living life. I'm not going to sit on my ass and watch other people live their lives on TV. And so if you want to attract somebody like me, we're going to be aligned in all of the ways. And we're going to be able to work out together and get wind in our hair together and have experiences and be adventurous and spontaneous and work on ourselves and encourage each other, both of us, cheer each other on and encourage each other. That's how you're going to attract somebody like me. If you have bench warmer traits, like you spend your downtime watching TV, or you party and drink on the weekends, or you are not investing in yourself mentally, emotionally, if you have 0 faith, or yeah, pretty much, you're not going to attract somebody like me. You're going to attract a bench warmer.
So I'm looking in her eyes. All of this sounds great, but I'm looking in her eyes and it looks like she's into something weird. By weird, I mean just something going on to where she's just involved in like weird stuff, like astrology, sort of, oh man, manifestation and mysticism and the stars, and you got to be able to do this and that type of stuff. And I'm in a room with these people, and okay, if you're in a room with these types of people, how are you not meeting the people that you're looking for, men specifically, that would like to have you, like would want to have you, would want to be involved with you? I don't think she's ugly. Why are they not coming to you? This is what men mean. You have all of these things that you're saying, and then you said something to the effect of, well, I didn't used to be that way, but I am that way now. What was that time period that you weren't that way? Was it, okay, I'm in my early 20s, I'm kind of playing around, but then around 23, 24, 25, I got serious about my life and I started trying to take it to the next level? Or is it, I was playing around until recently, like a year ago, like a couple of years ago? I'm 35 now. I waited until I was like 30 something years old to quit playing around. I was out here partying and doing all that stuff. But now I'm in a new phase of my life where I'm ready to get serious. Turns out, because guys have to work so hard to get to where they are, the men that you're looking for have probably already been serious since they're at least their mid-20s. They've been working since their mid-20s. So as beautiful as you are, as pretty as you are, they might honestly and truly go ahead and pass you up. And I hope I'm wrong about that. But in my opinion, they'll see you and it's like, yeah, man, she's beautiful, but this type of stuff, you're going to be on my schedule. The way it sounds like is, well, we're going to be doing it together. We're going to be doing it. They paint this life, but it's really, well, you're going to kind of be on my schedule. If it doesn't work for me, then I'm going to bolt out of here. A man that you're talking about, like a man that's like 1% that you're talking about that you want, whew, I'm telling you, man, you guys say a lot of stuff, but that man ain't gonna do a lot of arguing with you. He's gonna say, this is my schedule. This is what type of time I'm on. You talking about you energetic. You're gonna need every ounce of it, every bit of it to keep up with him. And you might not make the grade. Then what? You're gonna need a little bit of mercy and grace. So bear in mind, she's looking for somebody that can match her energy and her speed. Amanda, I'm a wild soul, dating coach for men, podcast host, songwriter, model. That might run you into some trouble right there. And a single mama who's fiercely committed to helping people grow. You see what I mean? Like, when was it that you were finally coming to the realization that you need to be out here hitting it hard and grinding? Was it when you were like 25? Or was it like, oh, I'm 33 now, I need to start busting my behind? While the man that you're talking about has been busting his behind since his early 20s. You know, everything I create, from my posts and songs to my coaching and podcast episodes, comes from a deep place of brokenness, beauty, and truth, right, as everyone does. If my work has ever made you think deeper, shift your perspective, feel seen, or a little less alone, if I've ever sparked blah, 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 healing and support, your contribution isn't just a tip, it's fuel, blah, blah, blah. It helps cover the real cost behind the scenes, podcast editing and hosting, support from my virtual assistant who does all of the back office tasks and customer support, subscriptions to the platforms I use to create and share my website. So basically fund me, sponsor me. I'm not really doing a whole bunch, but sponsor me. Email tools, studio time to record music. What? Where's your music at? And better equipment to keep the quality high. Donate. Now she's talking about what she wants a man now. Donate $25, $25 plus dollars to receive a personal thank you video from me if you leave your IG or email. Okay, fine. $50. Get an autographed 8x10 swimsuit portrait mailed to you. That's crazy work. And you're wanting a man? You're out here sending yourself in a swimsuit to dudes? And you want a man? $100. Enjoy a 3-minute phone call. 3 minutes for $100 is crazy work. From me, if you leave your number, yes, for real. What are we going to be talking about for 3 minutes? This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're not valuable. I'm just saying, how long are you going to overvalue yourself? That's what I think. I might be wrong here. God-fearing homeschooling mother of three. Of three. Okay. Balances her life with grace and grit, embracing roles as a country singer, songwriter, soon to be podcast. Oh, she's not even podcasting. Part-time model and corporate flight attendant. So your day job is a flight attendant. With big dreams and a passion for personal growth, quit it. From writing heartfelt songs to connecting with others through her candid conversations on her upcoming podcast that are not there right now. Wind in Her Hair podcast. Nurturing her children or sharing her story with the world. What is this? And this is what a man has to sow into. What she's really trying to do is capitalize on her beauty. Think this woman honestly looks like she's like 45. Modeling, commercial, seems well enough. Not a huge issue with what she's got going on here. This is probably going to be a problem. I don't even know if y'all can see this. Let me see it. Let me see if I can find a way, because y'all going to think I'm lying to you. All right, I'm just going to talk from behind the screen. What is this? To the right, what is this? I can't even click on this. That's the end of that. But you want a man looking like this. What is this? That ain't bad though. That ain't too bad. Swimsuit. Nah. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be a no. Honestly, I'm saying it ain't too bad based on what you're seeing. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. But it ain't like what you see like model, like IG models, if you know what I mean. This is not how I want to see my woman online. I'm just telling you right now. Athletic, not too bad, not terrible. Okay. Great. Know a lot of fellas that's okay with that. It's gonna be a no for me. This looks like no. What is this? The only thing that is missing is an OF link. Absolutely no. No, we're not doing this. And she wants a man. Mother of three. And she wants a man. You got to be confident. What kind of confidence is this? What is this? Country. That's about what you'd expect from a country singer, honestly. Still got your behind all out. These women don't have any morals. Trying to teach you. They don't have anything going on. Trying to teach you about how to level up. Girl. No. Absolutely not. But that's a decision that you guys have to make. She wants the wind in her hair, and she definitely has it here. Music coming soon. How can I click on this? I can't. What about the podcast that she's talking about? Oh, wait. Currently seeking sponsors and investors. You don't need a sponsor or an investor. You need a podcast mic. See, that's how I know you playing around. Waiting for somebody to fund what you got going on. Pass.